Hey fifth graders, welcome home. Well, to my home. It's been a while and hopefully you guys have had a safe and restful start of the weekend and the week, and wherever you're at, you are comfortable and getting everything you need and adapting to this new world that we're living in. So I'm going to post a couple of these throughout the process, depending on how long this lasts, probably about a video every other week or so, to guide you through practice and give you guys some sort of a lesson outline so that we're not just throwing out text and asking you guys to throw out videos randomly. We're going to go through our book and continue training. Your band music stuff, I assume your band directors are going to be working on with you and asking you to play. Feel free to shoot me questions if you have anything specific in there that you'd like to work on. But today specifically, we're going to be working in our books and moving forward. So you're going to need your instrument and your action and achievement book. I think I only teach trumpets in 5th grade, so there shouldn't be a problem when I'm teaching on trumpet. Well, the first thing we're going to do is, like we always do, we're going to buzz with our mouthpieces. So we're going to use the clock that's ticking on the bottom, but I'm going to count to 12. We're going to try to buzz for 12 seconds in one breath. If you need to take a breath, that's totally fine, but go as long as you possibly can. Make sure you've got good posture, heels on the ground, nice tall spines, chins up, bring the instrument mouthpiece to you. Let's breathe in on number 4. And breathe out and buzz for 12. 1, 2, 3. And hopefully as you were doing that, you heard a nice steady pulse. You want to try to get the air to move at a consistent rate so that you get a nice strong sound out of the mouthpiece. So now take a look at your books. And we're going to buzz line 70. You already did a test on this with Mrs. Arilla my first week out, but we should be able to read this pretty comfortably, just especially with buzzing. Ready? 1, ready, go. Let's also move ahead and take a look at line 76. That's on page 21. I'm going to buzz line 76. Now, we haven't worked on this yet, but it's okay. We're just buzzing, so try to get your ears visualizing what the note should sound like just with your mouthpiece. 1, 2, ready. Let's also take a look at line 78, and we're going to buzz that one as well. Same concept, just warming up and getting used to it. So here's line 78, ready with a repeat, but we're not going to play the first measure, the first take-up note twice. From the beginning, ready, and... Good. Now the last line we're going to buzz is line 74. Ready? Line 74. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do your scales next. You can take your scale sheets out. Got them? All right, let's buzz a scale starting here. Ready, go. And the arpeggio. Okay, so let's plug them into the instruments, your trumpets. Check your right hand posture. Make sure that you've got your fingertips on the valves, pinky on top of the pinky slot. You want to make sure that you've got a good open wrist away from the lead pipe. This long tubey thingy here is called the lead pipe that the mouthpiece goes into. And your thumb goes in line with your first finger. So you get a nice open position to hold the instrument up. Keep the bell at your shoulder's heights. Remember your left hand, all the weight's in the left hand, right? So let's play our concert B-flat scale in the pattern, which is the way it is on the page, with the arpeggio at the end. 1, 2, ready. Good. We're going to do the next one, the concert E-flat scale. We're going to do it with the octave jump, so you guys can do the low D, E, and F, and then we'll work on the higher register in a second. Ready? In the pattern, yeah, we could do it in the pattern. 1, 2, ready. Just like we were doing before break, we are going to work on the upper register notes. So let's start on the high C, which is open, and the next note on the scale, which is D. We're going to play as 2 quarter notes. So just C, D, ready. So go ahead and pause the video. Do that about 8 more times or until you're tired. You ready to go on? We're going to add the E. So we're going to go C, D, and then E. Open E on the top. 1, 2, ready. Go ahead and pause the video. Practice it until you're tired of practicing it. You ready to go on? We're going to add the high F, which is also first valve. So we're playing open C, first D, open E, high F. Open 1, open 1. You ready? Lots of air, big breath. Do not jam the mouthpiece into your lips. Make sure you're putting pressure from your belly and all of your lips are nice and tight. Your corners are back and nice and firm. 1, 2, ready. Now again, I don't expect you guys to be able to play that yet, and that's totally fine. We should be able to play up to the D. And if you can't, then keep practicing and you'll get better. Let's go to the next scale down, which I think you just had your test on, concert A-flat, which is most of your B-flat scales. This is the one with that 2 and 3 E-flat in it. We could try this one in the pattern. Let's slur it. So we're only tonguing the notes we have after we breathe. And we're going to add the arpeggio at the end of this as well. Ready? 1, 2, here we Go ahead and practice it as much as you need to. And then we're going to do the newest scale that we just touched on before I left, which is the concert F scale. Most of you guys are going to start on a low G, which is going to be a first and third valve. Hopefully you wrote that in. If you didn't, then now's a good time. It's on the bottom of the scale sheet. It says lower for most of you guys because you have 2 octave versions of this. So the first note is a low G, 1 and 3. The next note is low A, and like all A's on trumpet, that's played 1 and 2. And the next note after that we should remember is B, and hopefully you remember it's a B natural, not B flat. And then we're up to regular C, D, E, and then there's an F sharp, which is in the middle valve as well. It's either in the key signature or next to the note as an accidental as you've seen it. So let's go ahead and try playing this low concert F scale in half notes. Everything gets 2 beats even though it's in the pattern there. And there's no arpeggio on this line, for this time at least. All right, here we go. In half notes, concert F. 1, 2, ready. So keep working on that. Those are the 4 scales we should know by the end of 5th grade. Go ahead and take a look back in your book if you're not already there. And we're going to play line 74. Now, we haven't done this one too much, if at all. It's pretty easy. It's all about using your air to change the notes and not fingering. So you'll notice in the first measure we have all the notes at a first valve. And then the next measure is all the notes at first and second valve. So we're just using our air to slur between those notes. Make sure you're playing B flats with the first valve for all of you trumpets, and E flat for you French horns. So here's line 74. 1, 2, ready. French horns, your part's probably different than that, and that's just fine. If you are able to play your part the best you can, I will be able to guide you in helping you correct any mistakes you may be making. So let's go ahead and take a look at line 76. I'm going to break this down. We'll work on it a little bit at a time, and then gradually over the course of the next couple of weeks, we'll get better. Or, you know, the end of this week, because this may be the 4th time you're watching this video. So here's line 76. Notice the key signature is just like we just played with the B flat and the key, or E flat with you French horns. And let's go ahead and try playing just the first 2 measures. So we're going to break it down into little chunks. We call this chunking. So here's measures 1 and 2 on line 76. 1, 2, ready. Go ahead and pause the video. Replay that a few times. You ready to go on? Let's play measures 3 and 4. 1 and 2, and ready. So notice that one's got that B natural in it with the middle vowel, okay, or E natural for you French horns. So make sure we're playing both of those notes as naturals. So it doesn't switch back and forth between a natural and a flat there. So practice that as much as you need to. You can pause the video if you need to. And now we're going to go back and do the first 4 measures all together. 1, 2, ready. Got it? If you need to go back and pause it and practice it, go ahead and review it. We're going to try moving on now. We're going to do measures 5 and 6. There's a lot of slurring here, so make sure you're tonguing as appropriate. Measure 5 and 6. Ready, and... Again, pause if you need to go back and review that. And we're going to do the last 2 measures now. Ready. Let's go ahead and practice those as you need to. Let's chunk the last 4 measures. So we're going to start on measure 5 and go from 5 to the end. 1, 2, 5 to the end. And now we get to do the whole thing. Obviously, if you need to practice little sections in there, you're making mistakes over and over again, go back and review those. But now we're going to start from the beginning and go all the way through. 1, 2, ready. Hopefully you heard a volume difference, because you'll notice there's a piano and a forte marking in there. So work on those air control exercises to get you to play those more consistently. Let's look at line 78. That's the last line we're going to work on for today. 78 is going to ask us to repeat, but notice that the repeat does not go all the way back to the beginning. There's an open repeat bracket at the beginning of measure 1. That pickup note, that first concert B flat, most of you have a C, trumpet horns you might have an F, is not part of the first measure. It's just a pickup. It actually belongs to the last measure. For those of you that forgot from last year, they take a bite out of the last measure in the phrase. So if you look at the last line, last measure on line 78, you'll notice it only has 2 beats in it. The third beat of that was cut out and pasted to the beginning. So that's now a pickup. It does not count as a measure. It technically belongs to the last measure. Measure 1 is the first full measure with all the eighth notes. So let's go ahead and break this apart the same way. We're going to start from the pickup and play the first 2 measures. So we're stopping at the first ending. 1, ready. So that's a lot of notes, but it's right down a scale. So hopefully you've practiced that as you need to. Pause it if you have to go back. Let's play just the first ending. Measures 3 and 4. Ready, and... Got it? Obviously pause and review if you need to. Let's start from the beginning, and we're going to play the whole thing. Because the last 2 measures are the same as the first, 3rd, and 4th measure that we've essentially just played, so we should be able to read it pretty easily. So from the beginning all the way through with the repeat back to measure 1, and then skipping the first ending to go to the second ending. 1, and... Okay, so we'll practice that as we need to. Again, I assume your band directors are asking you for specifics about your band music, but if you have questions about Raiders March or Gentle Winds or any of the other music, then feel free to pose them and send recordings if you'd like. It's just not going to be part of our weekly assignments because I don't need to test you on the same stuff they're testing you on. You got a lot of stuff to take care of already. So good luck in the new world, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks.